You got people that are resentful towards her, but not. It's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of shine. This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along and she wreaks havoc.
Okay.
An unsettling situation has emerged surrounding basketball phenom Caitlin Clark and her treatment within the Women's National Basketball Association. Clark, who plays for the Indiana team, has become an instant sensation and the league's most prominent figure. The WNBA consists of approximately 64% black athletes. Despite Clark's exceptional talent and immediate impact, concerns have surfaced about possible jealousy translating into questionable physical treatment on the court. Sports commentator Stephen A. Smith addressed this issue, noting that resentment exists toward Clark, though it's not necessarily about her personally, but rather what she symbolizes.
Okay, because she's brilliant, right? That's why she's wreaking havoc, because she is so good. Now, LeBron James, maybe the best basketball player ever, he's been watching this situation. Go.
You know, there's a very small number of men and women that actually get to live out their dream of playing a professional sport. And we have...
Prior to her arrival, numerous talented black female players had been performing excellently in the WNBA without receiving comparable recognition or media attention. Clark's entrance disrupted this dynamic because of her remarkable abilities. Basketball legend LeBron James has observed this situation, commenting on how peculiar it is that adults would attempt to sabotage someone's professional sports dreams. He praised Clark for maintaining composure throughout these challenges. The concerning pattern involves Clark receiving an unusually high number of harsh fouls, many appearing deliberate, while officials frequently fail to intervene appropriately. While motivations cannot be definitively determined, racial undertones may be influencing these incidents.
Playing a professional sport. And we have grown-ass men and women out here doing whatever they can to try to make sure that does not happen. That is the weirdest thing in the world, but it is what it is, and I'm glad that Caitlin has a great head on her shoulders.
All right, just to be clear, Caitlin Clark is being fouled at a record rate. Some of them are brutal fouls, and a lot of the refs are looking the other way. And the women fouling her are doing it on purpose.
Sean McLean, founder of Origin Advocacy, a Washington, D.C.-based consulting and lobbying firm specializing in federal government engagement, has analyzed this situation extensively. McLean, who spent nearly 15 years in government service working for conservative politicians, including Marsha Blackburn, Ted Cruz, and the Trump administration, authored a Wall Street Journal piece examining these concerns. Clark's influence on the WNBA has been extraordinary. Merchandise sales jumped over 600%. League app usage increased by the same percentage, and subscriptions rose more than 400%. The Indiana Fever's value tripled following her arrival.
The women fouling her are doing it on purpose. Now, I can't read minds, but it does have a racial aspect to this. But I could be wrong. Joining us now from England is Sean McLean. He's the founder of Origin Advocacy. He wrote a piece in a Wall Street Journal about all this that caught my attention. Number one, what's Origin Advocacy? What is that?
Origin Advocacy is a Washington, D.C.-based consulting and lobbying firm.
However, despite generating unprecedented success, the league has seemingly ignored her systematic targeting, which threatens her career longevity. Statistical analysis reveals Clark absorbed 17% of all flagrant or hard fouls during her rookie season, more than twice the rate of any peer. This treatment is unprecedented for top stars in professional sports leagues. The disparity raises questions about why the league permits this continuation, especially given Clark's significant economic contributions that the WNBA has sought for decades. Three-time MVP A'ja Wilson of the Las Vegas Aces explicitly stated that the attention Clark receives is absolutely related to race, saying it boils her blood when people deny racial elements exist.
Washington, D.C.-based consulting and lobbying firm. We help clients figure out how to best engage the federal government.
Okay, so you're basically a consultant to various individuals. Is there an ideology attached to you?
So I worked in government for nearly 15 years. So I'm very limited government. I'm conservative. I've worked for Marsha Blackburn, Ted Cruz, and in the Trump administration, including the Trump White House.
Okay. Now, what caught your attention about Caitlin Clark?
Such public statements from established players suggest racial dynamics are influencing the situation. The jealousy and animosity can be understood from veteran players' perspectives. Those who previously achieved MVP status and championships never attained Clark's immediate visibility or endorsement opportunities. This resentment appears understandable, but becomes problematic when it manifests as on-court targeting. The pattern creates what legal experts consider a hostile work environment for Clark.
Now, what caught your attention about Caitlin Clark?
Caitlin Clark has had a seismic impact on the WNBA ever since she first joined. Merchandise sales increased over 600%, league app engagement over 600%, subscriptions to League Pass over 400%, and the team she plays for, the Indiana Fever, tripled in value. But despite all that success that she's immediately had, the league has basically looked the other way as she's been targeted on a weekly.
Under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act, federal intervention possibilities exist if authorities choose to investigate. The federal government regularly involves itself in sports matters, as seen with Major League Baseball's steroid investigations, NFL concussion issues, USA Gymnastics scandals involving Larry Nassar, and recent Trump administration actions addressing disparities in university and NCAA sports programs. The 17% flagrant foul statistic represents only officially called infractions. Former player and analyst Rebecca Lobo has highlighted numerous uncalled fouls against Clark, suggesting the actual disparity significantly exceeds reported figures. A comprehensive audit of missed calls would likely reveal much greater statistical differences.
Been targeted on a weekly basis, and that targeting is putting her career at risk.
Well, tell me what targeting means. What does that mean?
So she is taking on harder fouls and at a higher rate than any of her peers. So it turns out that in her rookie season, she absorbed 17% of all flagrant fouls or hard fouls, more than double the rate of any of her peers. This is not something that you would see occur to any other top star in any other league.
Wilson's race-focused statement.
Any other league. And I think a lot of fans are scratching their heads of why the league is allowing this to continue, especially given the economic impact that she's having on the league, which they've so desired for decades.
Yeah, but you're not scratching your head, Sean. What do you think it is?
Right after she was drafted and heading into her rookie year, Asia Wilson, who is a three-time MVP of the league, she's won the championship for the Las Vegas Aces. She came out and addressed the attention.
The fundamental question remains why league officials refuse to address these issues adequately. The situation demands thorough examination to determine the full extent of any discriminatory treatment and ensure appropriate protective measures for all players regardless of background. There's significant concern about Stephanie White's coaching philosophy when working with Caitlin Clark. While White isn't necessarily a poor coach overall, she may not be the ideal fit for maximizing Clark's unique talents and natural playing style. The tension became evident during a recent podcast discussion where Clark revealed insights about her interactions with White regarding game film analysis.
9 assists or 10 assists that game.
She was a rebound and assist off a 32-point triple-double. And, is the only reason her team's in the game. And let's be real, in the post-game press conference, Caitlin Clark made sure to give out about Caitlin Clark not passing the ball to Dantas. We've seen Damiris Dantas play. She can't shoot. Why would Caitlin Clark pass the ball on an all-time heater to Dantas?
This just this last game.
In one particular New York game where Clark delivered an outstanding performance, nearly achieving a triple-double with 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds, White still found areas to critique. Despite Clark being the primary reason her team remained
It's just this last game this year. Mm-hmm. I started the fourth quarter off with 3 turnovers in a row or 2 turnovers in a row, and Steph yanked me, and she was like this is a learning moment. You got to be able to yes, maybe could have been there. Like maybe you could have thrown a little bit better of a pass. Maybe they could have caught it. But like, do we need that in this moment? Like,
I mean this when I say this. I would rather Caitlin Clark make. If Caitlin makes 4 of those.
This represents a playing to win mentality versus White's more conservative playing not to lose approach. This conservative philosophy became apparent in how Indiana frequently surrendered fourth quarter leads. White's tendency to have players dribble out the clock and slow the tempo contradicted Clark's aggressive momentum-building style. The team's struggles in closing games can be traced to this strategic mismatch. A specific play exemplified this conflict perfectly.
Those crazy passes, and 2 of them come off and 2 of them don't, I would rather her make that pass 4 times, because if those passes come off, it's a guaranteed 2 points. If they don't come off, you might concede. It is literally a mentality of playing not to lose or playing to win. And it's very clear that Caitlin Clark's mentality is we're playing to blow teams out. Whereas Stephanie White's mentality, you can see it by how they played, especially with Caitlin. Stephanie White's mentality, we saw was why they were blowing so many.
Clark secured a steal and had a clear transition opportunity with Kelsey Mitchell streaking down court. 2 defenders were positioned near Mitchell, and Clark had an obvious choice: either deliver a pass to Mitchell for an open layup or find Sophie Cunningham for an uncontested 3-pointer. With a 12-point lead and limited time remaining, the game
played, especially with Caitlin. Stephanie White's mentality, we saw was why they were blowing so many 4-quarter leads. She tried to dribble the clock out. Stephanie White wants to dribble the clock out in the fourth quarter, and that's her natural instinct, is to dribble the clock out in the fourth quarter.
like, no. And then she subbed me back in, and there was a play where I kind of got a steal, and like we're going in transition, and Kelsey Mitchell just like takes off down the middle of the floor, and so there's like 2 people kind of by her, and I literally like go to grab the ball.
Any coach.
This represents a troubling dynamic where a generational talent is being coached away from what makes her special. The mathematics support Clark's natural approach. Her assist percentage on such transition opportunities would likely exceed 85%, making the pass attempt the statistically superior choice. Additionally, attempting the pass would energize both team and crowd, creating positive momentum. The alternative matchel ball handling in isolation against defenders like Natasha Cloud actually presents higher turnover risk than the pass attempt.
Any coach, and I mean this, any coach that makes the best passer in the WNBA not either give the ball to Kelsey Mitchell for an open layup or hit Sophie Cunningham for an open 3-point shot should not be listened to. The right thing, there's 2:25 to go. This is a 12-point game. The game is as good as over, but Caitlin has 2 choices to basically give them a basket. They can dagger the shot. At this stage, I don't care. You've won the game.
Clark's previous turnover issues weren't entirely her fault either. Her pass to Aaliyah Boston was well executed. Boston simply couldn't handle the delivery, yet Clark received criticism while other players' mistakes went unaddressed. This coaching approach fundamentally misunderstands Clark's playing style. She's an instinctual player who thrives when operating freely and building momentum through consecutive great plays.
At this stage, I don't care. You've won the game anyway. You have to do really dumb shit to lose the game. But like, there's no reason why Caitlin needs to take that dribble with the right hand. Caitlin Clark should have thrown the ball into this area here for Kelsey Mitchell to grab. Best case scenario, it's a right hand layup for Kelsey Mitchell, wide open. Worst case scenario, Sabrina Ionescu helps in. You got a wide open Sophie Cunningham, and then the ball's kicked to Sophie Cunningham, and she's either wide open for 3 to shoot it, or she can hold the ball. The best case scenario is 2 points. It does not matter how much of the shot clock you.
Her best performances, including legendary college games, occurred when she played in flow state, describing those moments as happening in a blur where everything felt automatic. When Clark overthinks her decisions, her performance suffers dramatically. She's most effective when trusted to make split-second reads and attempt spectacular plays. Yes, roughly 20% of these attempts result in turnovers or missed opportunities, but the 80% success rate generates explosive offensive sequences that demoralize opponents and energize her team. The inconsistency in standards becomes problematic when comparing Clark's treatment to other players.
You burn in a 12-point game, it is better that you are up 14 than up 12.
and then I like just dribble out. And I like literally just start smiling so big. And I look at Steph.
She starts smiling when she makes an actual dumb play. Like, that's actually a dumb play to make. I'm sorry, like, we play the percentages. What is the likelihood that Caitlin Clark makes an assist to Kelsey Mitchell on that break? 85%. 85%. And the difference is, do you want to know what the difference is? Is that Caitlin gets a
Mitchell, for example, receives significantly more freedom to make questionable decisions without facing similar consequences. Mitchell exhibits two distinct playing styles, the effective off-ball cutter who relocates well and finishes in transition, and the problematic ball-dominant version who over-dribbles and settles for difficult shots. White tolerates Mitchell's poor decision-making while immediately correcting Clark's aggressive playmaking. This creates an environment where Clark's natural brilliance is being systematically suppressed. The specific transition play in question wasn't even particularly risky. Throwing a pass over Kennedy Burke to Mitchell for an easy finish represents sound basketball fundamentals.
The difference is, do you want to know what the difference is? Is that Caitlin gets a steal, dribbles in, hits Kelsey Mitchell, the crowd gets hyped. Is a crowd going to get hyped when you start dribbling the ball to halfway line? And by the way, Caitlin's more likely to lose the ball trying to dribble in space in an isolation situation on Natasha Cloud than she is passing the ball to Kelsey Mitchell in that scenario. She had back-to-back turnovers. That turnover to Aaliyah Boston was a good pass. Aaliyah fumbled it. That's not Caitlin's fault.
And I like told her
that
after the
better
game.
be on film.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't understand how hard it was for
Burke lacks the height to disrupt such a pass, making this a routine play for someone of Clark's ability. White's preference seems to be molding Clark into a more conservative point guard, similar to players like Paige Bickers. However, this approach ignores what makes Clark unique and historically productive. Clark isn't Bickers, nor should she be coached to become her. Clark's value lies in her ability to create spectacular plays that shift game momentum and generate easy scoring opportunities for teammates.